Now, to make sure that your AE part goes aligned to the Cinema 4D, you want to make sure that you have these two folder explorers open. Now, all you want to do is you go to your main C drive, and then you want to make sure you go to your Maxon here on the left side. Now go to your Cinema 4D, go to Exchange Plugins, make sure you go to After Effects. Now you want to make sure you go to Windows, you go to this, make sure you drag this guy here. Now go to your, on the right hand side of the screen, you want to go to your After Effects version, you go to Support Files, then you go to Plugins. Make sure that you have the Cinema 4D format and the Cinema 4D importer from all these guys from the Exchange plugins here. So yeah, let's go to mode, let's go to project, 60 FPS, and then we can turn off this linear workflow. Alright, let's make this 10 seconds, so 60 frames equals 1 second. That means 600 frames equals 10 seconds. Now, you want to go to the mode graph. You want to go to your mode text. This is where we start the 3D text. Now, I'm going to use my name, Alan, and then we're going to align it to the middle. For the font, you can choose any fonts that you would like. If you would like to use the font that you prefer, you must download the font prior to the Cinema 4D. Or if you just installed it during this process, you may need to reset the Cinema 4D to have the font available on the list. Now I'm gonna choose, let's go for the font that I would like. This is not a good font. This is way too thin. So it would take a while to pick the font that you like. Nope, this is not a good font. Let's go for, I don't like this font. I don't like this one as well. Let's go for Jumper. Okay, so let's go for Jumper per so use only light. You can just use any font that you like. Alright, let's start with this process. Now, my depth will be 60 centimeters. Well, that's way too thick. Well, I'm gonna do 50 centimeters, and then I'm gonna do is I'm going to caps. I'm gonna go to fillet, and then start and end. Make sure they're all fillet caps. For the steps, I use 16. For the radius, I use 7. Okay. Now that's a decent 3D text. If you want to space it out, you can go to horizontal spacing. I would do 5 here. If you don't like how the radius is, you can also increase or decrease it. You can do 5 or 7. I just prefer to do 5 or 7, whatever it looks nice to you. So let's go for 5 instead of 7. If you prefer this one, but I'm going to go for 5. Okay, now we're gonna start aligning it. So we have to align it to the center. Well, there's no alignment tool. Well, there isn't, so we're gonna have to manually do it. Now I'm gonna do is Z -20. Well, that doesn't make sense. Let's go with this. Nope. 25? Yes. Let's do Z -25. Okay. So this is gonna be your first. This is going to be your first. Now we're gonna make a second. This will be your second here. Now, for the depth, you can, for the second group, for the second mode text, just say 30 for depth, and then for your caps, you can increase it to 7 or 6. Let's do 6 instead. And then you have to push this to +10, and then there you go. You got yourself a nice looking 3D text. Okay, now let's start with the Cinema 4D animation process for the 3D intro. Let's make the circle. Let's make the camera. Drag the camera underneath the circle, and then for the camera, right, make sure that you have the precision X and Y 0, same as rotation H and 0, rotation P 0, rotation B. All this needs to be 0. All this needs to stay in 1 for the size. X and Y, just leave it 0. For Z, just start with negative 1200, and then for the object, I usually have the field of view horizontal to 90 degrees. When you press this thing, right, this is the camera. This is camera object. It just views it. This views what the intro will look like. When you press out this guy, you're just in the outside the preview. So yeah, you're safe. This is not the safe zone. This is the safe zone. The safe zone. Okay. Now this one does not look center. Now we're gonna move this Y, precision Y. Let's do negative 60. When negative 60 works. No, let's do negative 70. Negative 7. That works. Now let's do the individual text here. So you press C on your keyboard for your both mode text. So C on your keyboard. Now you open this up, you see these green cubes, right? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go mode graph, we're gonna go to fracture. You can copy and paste this as well. And then we're gonna do your name. So my name is Alan. It varies on how many fracture groups you need to make. Okay, so this part, right? The last two, it's gonna be text and it's gonna be text final. You can delete this, you can disregard it. Now just put the text underneath the text final, and then you put your letters underneath the text. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new one. We're gonna create another new fracture. So you press C on your keyboard, and then you keep doing the same thing that you're doing to the fracture, the green fracture. Now this is a null fracture. This is the green fracture object. This is a null. So what you want to do is you want to control and hold at the same time to select these guys, these green cubes, and then you select them, you put them inside the null object, these whitish grayish things. Now you put these guys in, and then you can disregard the second and the first null object. Now you want to plug it underneath the green fracture here. Okay, now we're gonna save this. We're gonna save this project, right? Let's do Alan. Okay, save this project. Now, oops, this is wrong. We don't want to enter this safe mode, so we're gonna untoggle this guy. Okay, untoggle this guy. Okay, now here's the important part. Here, you want to go to your mesh access center, and then you want to do is you want to select parent 2. You want to auto update, include children. You want to do is you want to auto update automates the process. So I will untoggle this. Now you want to hit these guys, right? Hit these guys here. you also want to hit these guys as well. Make sure you line it up like this. Now you want to on toggle auto update. You want to go to access to, use all objects. Now your access to should execute. So let's do this here. Let's do this. Okay, now for the green part, you need to do is parent 2 here. Parent 2. Okay, and then you change it to access to, you hit execute. You hit execute. Now, this part, right, you must execute to access to, and this part execute as well. So make sure you check that everything is aligned as it should be. Okay, now let's try this. Let's go to random, and then you have to use the text, right? Fracture object text. Go to effectors, hit this thing, and then just put to random. And then you unprecision this. You can change it however you like. You can change it whatever you like. So that's how I start this process. You can also mess around with this guy as well. You can also mess with this guy as well. So either way, anything works. You can just mess around with the transform space node or effector. I personally have no restriction, just you could do whatever you want. And then let's go to safe zone. So yeah, it looks good. Next part, we're gonna start the 3 animation, and that'll be in a few hours that I will start. Let's make this text more interesting and also make this one more organized. You want to go to mode graph, binary fracture, click that underneath the mode graph. For this, when you select it, press C on your keyboard, rename this to effectors. Now drag the random effector underneath the effector null group. Now go to the mode graph, go to effector, go to formula. Now you want to put this underneath effectors. Okay, now you want to select the text, right? Not text final. You want to click this guy here. You want to push it to there. Now you want to uncheck the precision, uncheck the scale. We can go for 25. That's a little way too fast. We can go 15 here. That's also a little too fast. Now we can go to the effector. We can put this to 40 strength, and we get this really interesting text. Well, it doesn't look that great. So you can also do is go to min and max. You can also play around with it and see if it looks good or not. I usually put this R and P to 5, and then I put the effector strength to 40, and so this one looks really nice. Let's import a music. Go to make sure you right click on this space, input file, and then you have to make sure that you go to your wherever you store your music. Make sure it's in this file, MP3. Now input that here. Go to new comp for selection. Make sure you right click on your mouse. Let's change some settings. I usually leave it at 256 by 1440. That's how I make the 1440p resolution. And frame rate, I set it to 60. And preset, I usually set it to custom. You just leave whatever it is. And then let's make duration 12 seconds. Let's make the duration 14 seconds. Alright, press OK. Okay. Now let's go to let's open this guy up here. You can just open this up, audio waveform. Let's open that. Let's find where we want to do, where we want to go or do. Frame rate, make sure that your preview right, set it 60 whenever your composition is 60 FPS. Let's make, let's do okay, we found this part. You can use this part here. Let's go with this here. Nope. This part. Nope. Let's go this part. Okay, I found this place. It has to be here, right? Okay. Okay, so now you make sure you press the, let's see. If you have the asterisk key on your keyboard, on your full side keyboard, just make sure you press it on this to mark it. If not, then you can just go to, you can just click on this. You can right click, go to markers. You see numpad asterisk key. You could just add markers there. That way it's a lot easier to know which or where or when to sync or how to sync, whatever it is. Let's move this over here. Let's move this here. Let's go. Let's move this. Let's do this asterisk. Okay, move this here. Let's. Okay, move this here. And this part. Okay, now numpad asterisk. Okay, let's make the fade in and fade out. Go to audio. Go to this guy here, and then let's keyframe this to 5. Right here, and then let's give it to this spot here, 0, and then this spot here, I move it a few seconds, like 5 seconds afterwards, and then just do 15. Keyframe it. Go to this guy here. Go to your curves here. Click this guy. Make sure to go here, and then just keyframe it here. Just make sure keyframe that, fix the curves. Okay, now let's make the fade in, make it 60 decibels, and then 0 here. Okay, let's do 60 here. Okay, now you can use shift. You can hold shift to make sure that it stays in place. Alright, let's do this.
Afterlife, you who and I is more than like L down to O down now, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is way a little this is a little too far. Let's go to here. Let's increase this here. You can press this. Let's go to composition settings. Let's add 2 more seconds and then just move this out of the way and then move this here and then make sure you fix this guy here. Okay. Alright, that's how I made the fade in and fade out for this music and how to keyframe it so that you can mark them up on Cinema 4D. Once you open up Cinema 4D, double check that or triple check that your project mode, right, contains this 60 FPS. Use animation generator, use motion system, and then just leave everything alone. Make sure you uncheck the linear workflow. Okay, and then you all have this basic setup here. Let's input the keyframes into Cinema 4D so that you know or how or when to sync the text, the camera, everything. Go to layout, animate, and then open up After Effects on your side. Okay. Now use this tool, right? This trusty tool. Grab yourself a calculator. Okay. If whenever your keyframe is 60 FPS, you multiply the seconds. Okay. So seconds, and then you add the 32. So with my calculator, I do 60 times 2, which is 2 seconds, plus 32, which is milliseconds, or whatever it's called. Okay, so it's 152. Now you go to 152, right? You press this guy, create marker at a current frame, click that. Okay, I just named this bass drop here. Change whatever color you want. I usually use colors that are easy for me to mark, so let's go with blue. Okay, now you do the same, the procedure. Let's go one more time or 2 more times. 4 times 60 plus 25. Okay, so it's 267. Now, click that again. Just leave it alone, and then you go to the next one. You go to the next one. 5 times 60 plus 24, 324. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. 6 times 60 plus 48, 408. Go to the next one again. 8 times 60 plus 16, 496. It's that simple and easy. You always do 60 times the seconds, which is 8, plus the milliseconds, which is 16. Okay, just to clarify. 9 times 60 plus 14, 554. 4. And then this will be the last one. Okay, so it's 10 times 60 plus 9. Okay, 609. Yeah, you can also increase this 100 frames more. Just slide it here. and yeah, I just call this end, and then just blue. Okay, you go back to standard, and there you go. Let's input the music. Go to your After Effects, click this guy, go to composition, go to add render queue, output module, change lossless format, WAV. You don't touch anything, press OK. Output to anywhere you want to store. For example, I will store here. Press save. Render. There you go. Now let's input the music into Cinema 4D. Go to Mode Graph, Effector, Sound, Soundtrack, Load Sound. Click this guy. Make sure that you have WAV file. Get this guy, and strength turn to 0. You don't need that. And let's play. Beautiful. Let's begin the animation process. Here are the changes I made. I placed this sound underneath the effectors. I increased it to 800 frames. Okay. And I have everything all set up. So let's get the animation process going. Now go to your mode graph effector plane. Let's call this drop. Let's call this drop plane. I just call it drop plane. Why not? Go to your text final effectors. Click this guy and move this here. Now you want to uncheck the position, rotation. Let's make it -360. Go to effectors. Leave it alone. Leave it to 0. Now let's keyframe this. So click this thing, right? There should be a red dot. This should be 100 here. When you move out of the white keyframe or the blue keyframe like this, yours will show this red circle. That means that it's not completed. The keyframe is not completed. Now you have to go to the next spot. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next keyframe marker, which is there. Now increase it to 100 more, so 200. When you press this guy, go to the previous key, it only goes to the previous keyframe. So yeah, now you have this setup. Yeah, this rotation is wonky, but don't worry, we'll get it fixed. Now go to the drop plane, right click, show F curves. Now you pretty much can move this around. Make sure yours look like the S shape, like this. You can hold control to make the graphs look much smoother and not wonky. You can hold control while you move this guy here. Okay, this is way good, way decent, but let's make this better. You can move this a little bit to give it a little wiggle room, and there you go. Let's see if it works. Yeah, this is a little too sharp, so let's make this a little smoother. Okay. Let's see if this works. It's okay. Now you can also move this a little bit here. You can also decrease this a little bit here. You can also decrease this a little bit here. Okay, let's see if this works. Here. Alright, this is okay. Let's make this a little better. Let's move this a little better here. Alright, this is a little decent here. Yeah, that's how you make the rotation. That's how I make the rotation. Go to mode graph. Go to step. Now you go to your text green fracture, effector, step. Get rid of this guy, uncheck it, go to rotation, do negative 180. Now this is the part you can do. 0, 40, 100, and then 0. And this is okay, but if you've done it in the wrong direction, you can also just do the opposite of it. Let's add one more negative to it, to the negative number, and when you multiply two negative numbers, it cancels out, so you have the positive number. Let's see if this works. Okay, that works. Now go to show F curves. Let's do control. Let's hold the control and then use the mouse while we move so we can get more consistent keyframes. Graphing. And just move it here. Let's see if this works. Alright, perfect. Almost perfect, I guess. Now you can move this down here. Okay, let's do let's do something different. Let's check if this yeah, no matter your taste, you can do 360 or 180. It all depends your taste. It all depends your taste, I guess. All right. All right, let's do letter rotation. So I'll start with A, my name. You unfold this, click this guy here. Let's do, nope, way too close. Yes, that's good. Let's keyframe this here. Okay, start this guy here and then you work your way to here. So let's do here, let's do this here, and then let's move it down here, 0. Okay, so you have this, but it's not smooth. So what you can do is you go to, you right click this A plane effector, show F curves, and let's make this better. So here's a cool trick. You can bring tangents here. You can just move this here. You can just do the same. You can break the tangents here. You see, that's a nice trick here. All right. Alright, let's save this here. Let's see if this works.
Eyes where the lake, L down to
See? That's how you make this. If you want more, you can also increase it wherever you want. And let's go to rotation. Let's do 180. Let's see if this works.
eyes where the lake, L down.
Let's do a negative. Let's see if this works.
Eyes where the lake, L down to eyes where the lake, L down.
There's also a nice tip that here's a nice tip or method I use. You can move this a little bit here. You can move this down a little bit here. And try this.
Eyes where the lake, L down to eyes where the lake, L down to eyes where the lake, L.
And let's do the same. So let's do in. Let's plug this here. Okay. Now let's do the opposite. So let's use negatives to cancel out.
Eyes where the lake, L down.
Well, that's also not nice. See, this is not good. Let's do there. Let's do this. Okay, let's try this. This should work.
Eyes where the lake, L down to eyes where the lake, L eyes where the lake, L.
Let's do L. Let's do L. Okay, let's call this L2. Why not? So L1. So L1 goes here. So let's make this easier. Whenever you have this, go here. This goes here. All right. Let's go to L1 effector. Let's move this out of the way. Let's do this. Let's do 100. No, that is L1. This is L2. This has to be moved out. So this is 100. Let's do negative 100 on the L1. Let's do this to, well, we're not moving this. We're gonna do here. And then let's make E. So you can copy and paste it. Control C and Control V. That's how you copy and paste. Now let's do E. Let's plug this here. Let's do here. Let's do this here.
L down to and the eyes where the L down to O.
Yeah, this is a little far. There's always time to fix it. So let's go. Let's see if this works.
Eyes where the lake, L down to eyes where the lake, L down to up and the eyes where the lake, L.
See, that's also decent, I guess.
L down to O down now yeah is where the.
And that's also decent, I guess. You can also try this here. I guess this one also works as well. Let's try this. This.
L down to eyes where the lake, L down.
If not, let's try this. That's also not good.
L down to eyes where the.
Let's try 100. Let's do 180. No, that's not good. Let's do this here. Nah, let's do this here.
L down to eyes where the lake, L down to O.
And let's make another rotation. So I just call another one. Another one. Go to text final. Click this guy here. Uncheck the precision. And then strength 0. And then you just go to 100. Go to this last place. 200. Negative 360. Let's see if this works. Do the same. Just have to make sure that it looks nice enough and presentable here. Alright, let's make this rotation another cool rotation. Go to text file, plane. I just call this another 1, 2, or name it whatever you want. I just call it rotation 2 here. This is drop plane. This is here. So I keep this organized. I leave it into the vectors folder. Alright, so you can also move this here. Let's go. Okay. So let's do 0 strength. Okay. Let's go this here. Go to 100. And you go to rotation. For precision, you can do, let's do rotation H. 360. And then just give it a little more wiggle room. Let's do here 0. Okay, let's see if this works. And you don't want your rotation to be like this. If you don't want it to be like this, go to transform space, change it from node to a vector, and there you go. And you don't want this rotation too, so show F curves. Oops, this is wrong. Let's do 200. Okay, let's hit this again, show F curves. All right, let's make sure that we got this right here. Okay, and you just have to move this a bit here. Just have to move this here. Okay, let's see if this is right. You can also make this softer if you want to, like. And this is a bit hard. Let's space it out a little bit here. Yeah. If you don't like how sharp it is, or like that, you can always use the curves. You can always mess around if you want to. Like, I just move this a little bit here, a little down here, so it doesn't look that funky. The step effector also works as well. Just move this here. Go to step. Let's do negative 100. Let's see if this works. And then you have to move this to another place here. Okay, let's see if this works. Well, that does not work. Let's do 100. Now let's go to show F curves. Let's see if this works. Okay. Let's see if this works as well. Alright, so now this works, but we just have to do this here. Show F curves again. Oh, that doesn't look good. Alright, go to break tangents here on this guy, and then you can go break tangents again, and then there you go. Boom. That looks
He's right there. You who and I. You who and I. He's right there.
Let's see. You can move this a little bit more if you want to. Just make sure that you're able to see it, I guess.
You who and I. You who and I. You who and I. He's right there. He's right there. He's right there.
If it looks like this, you can also select this. You can show F curves. That's another cool trick. And then you can just bring it down if you want to. Like just bring it down here. And it only works if you select the groups of vectors that you want to do.
He's right there. 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 You who and I. He's right there.
Now let's try this again. Let's do 40. No. Let's do negative 40. Let's do 100 here, and then let's end this by this mark 0. Okay, let's see this work. Alright, this is a little funky, so we can always fix it. Let's try this here. Okay, that looks fine. So it looks okay. Now we can do is we can also move this back to where we want it. Okay, that looks fine. Alright, let's see this work. Okay, let's make the animation process. For this, I usually start with 40 here, negative 300 or negative 400. For camera, I start with negative 40 here. Now, you can also move this one. Nope. Negative 60. 0. Move 1 frame backwards. Negative 400. Negative 200. Here. $300. 0. Now this one keeps moving forward, so let's make this here. Okay. Will this work? Okay. That does not look good, so let's do here. Let's do this. Let's see if this works. Nope, that does not look good, so let's do this. Okay, let's do negative 80, let's do negative 40 here. Yeah, it keeps zooming in. It's not supposed to, so let's move this over back. Okay. Let's make sure. And then let's try this here. Let's try this. This is another nice one here. And then let's do this. You can also do this. This is also nice. That's also nice. Oh, nope. Yeah, that does. Nope. Yeah. If you want like this one, or if you want the step edition, you can try step. It delays the things here. It's like plain but better at some situation. Do this here, move this to here. Let's do 90. Well, that doesn't look good. You could disable this, uncheck this here. That does not look nice. Okay, you can move this back to where it belongs here. Okay, see. And yeah, it looks sort of delayed, but okay. Here. Let's try negative. Let's try effectors with that. Nope. Let's do this. Yep. And then you can also do this as well. You can also do this here, but I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it, but this one looks decent. You can also mess this up here, like this. Okay, that's fine. Put it underneath this. Call it step 3 here. Alright. Let's move this back here. Okay. You don't need plain. I guess you don't need it, but if you want it like that, like for example, if you don't want like this, but you want it like this, you can do this as well, but I don't need this, so I'm gonna delete this again. Alright, let's make this again. Let's go to NZXT, move 10 more frames. Now let's do this here, and then let's do there, move 10 more frames, and then let's do this here. Okay, let's see if this works. Alright, let's make this a lot better. So let's move this out of the way. Okay. Okay. It's a little bit choppy, but this one should be fine. start with this here. Oh, if this is way too far, you can also just change the Z. You can also change the view. I think field of view is the best option if the distance is way too far away. But I usually set it to 90. Either way, 80 or 90 is fine. But if you want the best spot, just 85 is the best. Now let's move 10 more frames here. Okay. Let's do this here. Okay. And then let's do -40 here. -40, and then move this to here. Let's do this. And then this part, let's do this here. Move this spot here, and then this is going to be 100, 300. Boom. Okay. Let's go to camera. Let's make this curve a lot better here. And then this part, right? I'm just gonna do this part here. This part, just move it a little further here. And let's see if this works. Let's make this a little smoother. Okay. Yeah, if it's not as smooth, you can always use brake tangent to make it smoother whenever it's possible. Okay. Okay, now here's another cool stuff. Here's another cool stuff you can try. Ooh, this looks nice. Ooh, that actually looks nice. You can try this. This one looks nice. You can also do this. No, I think this one looks fine. Yep, okay. Let's work on the rotation here. Let's do the rotation. So, let's do 8-3, okay. Let's do this here. Okay, let's do over here. And this part here, I just do 40 here. And then let's do 360. Let's see if this works. Alright, let's see if this works. Okay, so this works. It just needs to, this just needs to be aligned over here. And then this part here needs a little more cushion room. Let's try this here. And we can move this to here. Okay. Let's see if this works. It just let's try break tangent here. Let's break this tangent here as well. Yeah, that's way too far. Let's do this here. Let's do this. Let's see. Let's do 240. That's way too sharp. Let's do this here. Let's. Yeah, that's a bit wonky. Let's try this here. Let's try this here. Let's try this. And then this part right, just do 0. Okay? Nope. Just do this. Yep. Yep. And if you want to do the opposite, you can also do this here, or if you want to, you can just do this here. Either way works, but you could try this here. You could try this. You could try that. But I don't prefer to do it like this way. I'm just gonna do it whatever it's like this.
After life.
Let's do one more step here. Let's do 20 here. So I can tell that this uses, let's work this out. Okay, so let's do -80. I think -80 looks nice. Break tangent. Let's do that. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to here. Okay, let's make this better. Here, here, here. Let's go to effectors. Well, that does not look good, but we can also fix it. We can change the random here, change 0 here. You can also move this here. Yeah, that's issue here. I think this one looks nice. I think that one. That does not look nice. Okay, that looks okay. That looks okay. You can also change. You can also fix it however you want it to be, but I'll leave it here. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we got this complete. Start inputting the file. Let's input the file here. So let's input your frames that I rendered from Cinema 4D. Make sure that you rendered into the folder. So go to frames, click that guy, the white AEC file, double click frames, composition input. Let's input the song here. Let's put it here. Let's drag it here. Let's organize it into frames. And there you get this guy here. You can also toggle transparency if you want to or not. So I'll just untoggle it here. For some reason, if your After Effects is lagging, you can go to edit, you go to purge all memory and disk cache, and that should make your After Effects run a bit smoother. Okay, let's get to into particular system. Let's begin making the particular system. Go to new, solid, you could do is you can use the tabs here, or you can just right click the empty spot to make the new solid. So let's call this smoke here. Smoke here. Let's make another one. Solid. We'll just call it the main solid. That should go next to the song. So the song is always the bottom, and the main solid should be above the song. So yeah, that's how I organized my layers. Okay, let's make the smoke. The way I make the smoke is you definitely need to use form. So form, right? Go to your box grid. You can go to linked. You can also mess with this here. You can also mess with this guy here. You can also change, you can also use linked, but I would do individual, why not? And then you want to use the settings. Right. Okay. For particles and X and Y, it all depends whether you want more or less. For me, for myself, I just use 120 and then on an X and then 100 and then 80 on a Y. You go to your, make sure that your particular feather, right? I usually set it to 45, but it all depends on whether you want it or not. Now for the size, you can also increase or decrease it. For opacity, it all depends. I usually use 6, and for the color, you can just make it darker or more grayish if you want to, but I'm just gonna make it white here and just get rid of this. You can also use twist. You can use twist if you want to. You can also use this as well, but you don't really need to. So twist is not necessary, but if you want to make your smoke cooler or just randomize it, you can use twist here and press apply. Press apply. So now we get this smoke. So you want to go to CC what's it called? Let's find the blur for the smoke. Let's go to Sapphire blur and sharpen. You can do is, let's go to S blur. You have to disable the caps on the keyboard. You can make the blur as sharp as you want or cool as you want, but I usually use the S blur here. For the brightness, you can do triangle, you can do box. I would do glass, why not? If it's lagging for you, you can also try the vector blur and sharpen. I use vector blur, but either blur works the way. So let's do this. You can use direction fading. That doesn't look good. So I'll do 65. Why not? Okay. So you got yourself a decent smoke here. Now let's make the particles. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make name particles. I want to go to particular. That's for the particles here. Drag it here, and then let's go to designer. So for the precision 0 and 0, for that, just go to box, go to, click the meters size XYZ individual, do 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, and then you can just increase it or decrease it, whatever you want. Okay, so now go to your physics. You could do is, let's do, well, nope, I don't want to falling down. You could do up, you could do negative 200, and then for the X I do 100, 200 there. So that's I'll do 100, why not? Okay. I do 5. I do glow particle type, glow sphere here, and then you can change the size to how big, how small you want. If it's lagging, you can also decrease it here. I would just decrease it to this much. Let's decrease it to 40. Let's go to this. Let's see how well it does. Okay, let's mess around with this here. Okay, let's go to particular feather. You could do 80. You could do 20. I usually do 40. Why not? Okay. Now you can change the size of it. I just do 25 and press apply. Press apply. Now you got yourself first particle here. Nice thing is that you can also duplicate the system. You can also use different colors or so. Here's how I make multiple colors. So start with the presets. Start with this preset. Now you want to select whatever color you want. So I would do blue, and then I'll do pink, blue, pink, and then I would just align it to the middle here. For the motion, you can also drag this around, hover around, drag it around, play around here, and then you can also play with these guys here. You can also decrease this amount to here. And then I would just duplicate the system here. And then I would change the colors. Well, nope, wrong. Let's do purple. Let's move around. Let's play around with the particular system here. And then I would just play around until I am completely satisfied with the results. Okay, and you can also this is a little bit too much. I would just decrease it here. Okay, that looks decent enough. Apply. Alright, now let's make the form. Okay, form. Let's go to form RGE red giant trap code underneath this name here. That's the plugin. Okay, designer. That's how this is also the way to make smoke as well, but this is also a way to make form. So let's make form. Okay, I'll click this guy. I'll do grid. I play around with it, and then for Z, I just do it 2. For that, I increase it this much.
I'll do this much here. I don't need this much. Okay. For this guy, you can just move around to here. Okay. You can also do twist. Twist. I'll twist it to here. Okay. Do 4. Okay. That doesn't look nice. Let's do. You can also rotate this around if you like. I typically will rotate this. Well, that does not look nice. Would 2 work? Yeah. Would 3 work? Yeah, that should work as well. And then you can also do 5 here. You can also do Z. I'll do Z. Let's do this. And then I'll do Z. Let's do this here. Okay, that looks nice. Well, you have to do a size 2. Size 2 is one of the best option you could do. That's way too much. Let's do. Let's move this around here. Let's do this here. Okay. Okay. We don't want that. You can also do 25 for that. Okay. You might not like it, but you can always change it. Oh, that looks nice. Do 1 as well. -1. And then you can also play with the flow. Flow, I usually leave it at 4. And then you can also play around the sphere. Sphere does nothing, which I don't really use this here. There's also blocks as well. But what I do is you could do heavy that. You could do default. I'll do default. Why not? For the colors, let's do this color here. Well, that. Now let's do this color. This color would look nice. It's up to you if you want to use it or not, but I just leave it alone. Duplicate. Let's duplicate this here. Let's do blue. Okay. Let's move this around. Let's play around with this here. Okay. You can also move this around as well. You can also move this around. You can also increase this here. You can also decrease it here. Go. Let's make multiple twists, but it doesn't look nice. You can also move this here. Okay, press apply, and you see you get this form, a decent looking form. I put underneath the particles in that here, and then let's make another one. So form, let's call it form 2. You always want to save it just in case. Let's do something cool. Okay, go to strings. Go to here. You just wanna, you don't want any of this here. Well, you do. So let's do well, you really can't do anything, so okay. It looks like you had to do is, let's do 9,000. Oh, okay. That's way too much. Let's do 100. No, let's do 20. Yeah, 20 looks good enough. Well, that's way too much. Let's do 2. Okay. What else you could do? You can also do this. You can go create this here. You can also rotate this right here. I'll do 90. Oh, some people don't like it. Let's do 60 here. 60. That 60. That looks like your shape, but you can do 4. Let's do 5. You can do 5 here, and then for this, you can also move this. You can also have this here. Okay. Let's do 25. No, let's do 125. Nope, that's way too much. Okay. You don't need any of this here. Okay, so it looks like looks like you can decrease the amount here. Okay, for opacity, you could do 80 here, and then for the size, you could do Z, you could do this, you could do 80. You could do 30. Let's do 30. Well, let's do 60 here. I don't really like this. I'll just do it here. So it looks like you have to go back to this to change it. So let's go string. Would that work? Yeah, that should work. Because I don't want to affect the size, so I'll do 5. Yeah. Let's do -45. Like I say, you can always play around with it. So strings, well, strings here. Let's do this. Oh, that looks cool. That looks really cool. Okay. You can increase the density or not. I usually do it 15. Now I usually do 10. You can set random here. You can play around with it. So let's start with this here. No. Let's start with size 2. Let's do 2. Oh, that looks nice. I'll do size 4. Okay, size 4. Why not? Size 4, and then you can duplicate this guy here. You can do this color as well. And then you can rotate this around to this here. You can do no. Yes. Nope. Okay, that should be good enough. Okay. Now go to wipe circle. For this, do 60. Okay. And then your edge softness should be 45. If you want a bit here, you can do 40. Whatever works for you. Okay. I usually put it underneath the particles here. Okay. So you got yourself the basic forms. And it does look nice overall. Let's get through the shock waves. The shock waves that I use came from Bronzing FX. You can use any shock waves overlays that you have available on your PC. For this example, I am using Bronzing FX shockwaves. Any shockwaves will work. Let's input the shockwaves right now. So I would just copy and drag it to here, or you can copy and paste it here. Folder. Okay. I'll just call it shockwaves and assets. You can call it assets for short. I like to say a little organized as possible. Okay. Now let's go through this and see which one I liked. Well, this one looks nice. Okay. Let's get through shockwaves. Okay. Now you want to unmute this here. You want to hover it around to where the bass drop goes. And when you see this, you don't want your shockwaves to look like this. Here's a cool tip. Hit this guy right underneath the 3D cube. So this guy, hit this guy here. It should align to the camera here. Now go click underneath this, transform, precision 0, 0. And then you want to go to mode, right? If you can't find it, you can also toggle this guy. You can also toggle this as well. Go to screen. And you got this shockwave. Okay, so what if you want to change color? Well, you could do is you go to CC Turner, right? Search that up. You drag it here. You change to whatever color that you want. So I'm gonna go for pink, and then I'm gonna copy and paste this. For this part, I'm just gonna move it to 120, and then I'm gonna do blue. So let's do blue here. Okay, and there you go. That's how you make a nice shockwaves here. So let's go to wherever the part is. Okay, let's go to this. Let's select the shockwaves. That looks good. Well, let's do. Well, we already done this shockwave. Let's do this. You could do the same thing as well. You can copy the settings. So effects, paste it, copy and paste the transform. Click this, and then click screen. That way, it just saves you a lot of time. Okay. Alright, let's get to the CC. Go to new, go to adjustment layer, call this CC, and then make it new, adjustment layer. Let's call it blur. Put it underneath the frames here. Okay, and then let's make the blurs here, go to right click the music, keyframe assistant, convert audio to keyframes. Now you got this right here. You can just toggle the video. You can toggle this away so it hides the red square. Okay, let's get to the blur. So I use CC camera blur. If you can't find it, I think if you can't find it, you can just type blur. It should be camera lens blur. I just call it CC camera blur, but it doesn't exist, so I'm just gonna put it here. I put 3, and then let's go to deep glow. I just put underneath the blur. For the exposure, I do 0.2, and threshold I do 40 here. Okay, it just lights it up a little bit. If you want more exposure, you could just do 0.3. Okay, that's fine. All right, that's great. Okay, let's make the flare. So flare, let's make the flare. You do need optical flares, so from Video Copilot. Okay. Go to option. Let's go to browser presets. You could do beam. I usually do beam here. You can get rid of this. You don't need this. You don't need this as well. You don't need this here. That's fine. I usually get rid of these guys here. Okay. Okay, just leave it. Okay. Press OK. Alright. You want to go to source type 3D. Make sure you turn off the motion blur. For the render mode, on transparency. Okay, let's connect the audio. Let's connect the flares to the audio amplitude. You want to hold Alt and then right click. Okay, you want to drag the swirl guy to the slider on both channels. So here is the code for this. So this comp.layer audio amplitude.effect both channels slider, and you just press OK. Okay. Now you go to your position XY. You can move this around to wherever you want. You can also change colors too. You can go to global colors. You can change it to whatever colors you want. If you don't like the colors, then you can use CC Turner if you're a bit lazy like I am, and then just copy the colors. It might not look good, to be honest, but it's the best we could do. For the scale, you could do 60. I like to use smaller scale. Why not? The flare is a little too far away. Let's do this close. Okay, let's make the flare close. Alright, that looks decent. Okay, let's make the CC. Okay, adjustment layer, rename CC. You can also do is you can also right click on the color boxes, right? That and change the colors that you want. If you want to do it, you can do is you can go to project settings. Where is it? Colors. Well, it's not here. It's not here. It has to do with. It's not here. Oh, preferences, not project files. Preferences. You can also go to labels. You can make whatever colors that you want. You call it blue. You just have to rename this here. Brown, peach, purple. Here, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go to looks. Looks. I did release my own CC that I made. Well, that does not look cool. I don't like it. I don't like it. It is a bit too complicated. This is also a bit too complicated. Sometimes I make complicated CCs. Sometimes I make simple CCs. So, yeah. But it all depends on taste. So you might not like the CC, and it does make the require some changes too. So yeah. I definitely go with this CC. Why not? Yeah, I think it looks better. Okay, so the way you can do is it should be loading. If not, then I can just pause this and go to the next video. Okay, start with a contrast. You can go to tools. You can just search around where you can get it. Okay, so for that, I set the contrast right to do 0.2, and then pivot. You can also mess around with it as well. For that, you can check the settings. You can look at the settings here. Some people don't like the green hue. Some people don't like the red hue. So the blue hue is usually the safest spot, or this place is the safest spot. So I do it here. Sometimes I leave it here. Sometimes I leave it there. I usually like that one much better. You always want to use pop. Pop makes everything looks nice. Here, you can also increase the size. You can decrease the size. I usually do at least 160. Why not? But I usually do 160 or 80 depending on my mood here. Or 120. 120 is usually a safe spot here. For light flex, you can follow this along. For light flex, you can follow this along. You can also follow this along as well. So, vintage follow the settings around here for this. This just makes it a lot nicer. You can follow this as well. For this, follow this here. You can follow this here. If you don't like too much purple, you could do is you could just hover this around, but I usually like a little much of this here. For that, you definitely need the S curve. You also need Mojo. You can also work around with it. It all depends, but this just makes it a lot easier here. Okay. Sometimes it will make everything right. You can always go to edit. You can always go to edit. You can always mess with the pop. So usually I think the 80 is the one of the best spot to do here. Okay, for this you definitely don't need this, but you make another layer if you want to. It's usually the same things here. Curves is not that much, so just press OK. You can also add the film grit, but it's not required. I just think it looks nice, but you don't need to. You don't need to. For the deep glow, you can use it if you want to, but deep glow just makes it look nicer. Curves, that's a really important thing. Definitely need curves just to make CC look nice. And if you think the smoke is too dark, you can also change the opacity to 10. Change the opacity to 10. And you can see a little bit of smoke coming out, but that's okay. You just want a little visible smoke here. If you don't like how the colors don't look, you can also change the form to a better color. So I think this is the right color here, and this should be this color. Let's make it brighter. Let's go to glow sphere. Glow sphere. Press OK. Press OK, and then for the form, I usually like to decrease this amount here. I'll do size 1. Size 4, size 1, I just do it size 1. Okay. Okay, that's decent. Alright. You can untoggle this here. You can untoggle the rest. You want to toggle the camera and the frames whenever you're working with effects or shockwaves. That way it does not lag your PC. After all. Okay. So I'm going to keep putting some shockwaves around. Oh, there's also a nice trick. If you go to white plaza, right, you can make multicolor shockwaves. You could do -40, and then you could do shockwave 3, right, and then you do 45. You can make this cool shockwave color here. See this? How cool is it? How cool is this? How cool is it? Okay. Where is it? Let's go to. Wait, that's a wrong shockwave. Here. You could do phase start. I'll keyframe here. Let's do phase start. Phase start to 0.1. Let's see how this. Okay, that looks nice. That looks really nice. You can also do is 45. I do 45. Now you could do 50. 50 looks nice. Why not? 50 looks nice. And then when you add the blur, right, when you add the CC, you get this, an overly bright shockwave. You don't want a bright one. You don't want a bright shockwave after all. So if you don't want a bright shockwave, you can decrease the opacity. It's an option. You could decrease the opacity of the shockwave and it works. So I'll just keep this effect. Why not? Yeah, okay. So here is my fireworks. Here's the fireworks. So here's the fireworks that I did. Just put it down here. I just move it along here. Okay. You don't need this. Alright, I'll show you how I did it. Okay, go to designer. You want to use particular, right? So go to point, explode. You don't want it continuously. You want to explode. You want particles per second. You want to check these settings here. I'll just do is multicolor. So you can move this here, move this here. Be sure to check the velocity. Check this here. Check this. Check that. Check all the settings here. Physics. The spin is really important. These guys are important too. And for the aux, that's also really important here. So let's do a different color. Let's do this color and that color. Let's do this here. Okay. Okay, and press apply. Okay, and press apply here. You can also darken this a bit here. I usually just leave it alone to here. Okay, press OK. Well, this one is more greenish. You could also fix that as well. Here, okay. And then you can also check that nothing is in there. Okay. So now a nice firework, and when you put on a CC right, oh, I delete the CC. Apparently I deleted the CC, which, oh, CC is right over there. Ha. Huh. We just have to control. Ha. Huh. There you go. We don't need this. We got it right here. And there you go. Looks nice here. Okay. So that one should be here. That should be underneath here. And then this one should be above here. Let's just put it back and see how everything looks so far. So with the CC, okay, full. It's okay if it's a little too bright. It happens. You can always make some adjustment. Any time. So curves. Let's go curves. Let's make this a little better. You can also use curves. But curves will make it a little worse. So I have to make some adjustment. You just have to make some adjustment with pop, but it's fine. We'll just leave it like this. After all, yeah, I think it looks decent enough. So next up will be the sync and effects. It should be coming in the next video. Okay, before I start with the effects and the rendering process, I want to show you that I made this form for you. You're more than welcome to feel free and copy this over here. This is my really own form that I made. So take a pause of this video and feel free to copy these settings if you like to. You can also make some changes to fit your taste. So yeah. And I'm gonna put around here. I'll put it above the smoke. And trust me, this is gonna look really nice and you're gonna love it so much. Okay, so I want to show you how to make the fading text when the bass drop. So all you want to do is you want to copy and paste the frames. Now you want to click this, go to transform. You want your scale to be 125. Okay, so I'm going to do is I'm going to do 0, keyframe this, 0 opacity, and when the bass drop hits, I use 80, and then I go over there, and then I'm going to keyframe to wherever point I want. I make sure I go to the graph editor and just edit the graphs here. You can see there's a fading test. You can also increase it or decrease it. The scale I do 125 because why not? It just looks really good. Here. And let's say you want to do the other cool stuff. Okay, so you want to do is copy and paste this, right? And then you want to do 0. You want to do what is it? Okay, let's start at 6 seconds. Okay, keyframe the scale, and then go to this mark right here. So 3, the third one. I do 0, and you can see you can do this. Wow, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Yeah, but I'm not gonna add to it. It's optional if you want to. So you can also copy the keyframes and just paste it into the layer that you want. I'm gonna just copy this here, and then I'm gonna copy this over here. Isn't that cool? And then I'm gonna do 80 here. I'm gonna do 0 here. 0 here. And you go to the graph editor. You can edit the graphs as well. So. You can go to fit up to 100. You can also do as far or as close as you want to add more particles or whatever it is to make your intro look nice. So yep, it does look nice. Okay, now what I usually do after I'm finished with the background and everything, before I start with the sync and the niche and the effects, this is not initial effects. This is just adding the text fade in. Initial effects and the other stuff like sync, that begins after we render this background. Okay, if you don't have the Adobe Media Encoder, you must get it ASAP. Make sure that if your After Effects version is 2020, you want to get the Adobe Media Encoder to be 2020 or above, or else it would not work, and you would have to add to the render queue, and it's going to take a lot of time and stress, and then you have to use the handbrake or any video encoder, which is going to be really complicated, really stressful. So I'm going to ignore the render queue and just instead focus on rendering the background. So you want to render these guys here. Don't worry about the CC or the audio amplitude, that should go last here. Okay, so go to add to render queue, select the composition that you want to render. So add to this. It will take a while for it to happen. Once your media encoder opens, it should take a while or so. There you will see this guy. All right. Once it appears, right, you want to hit match source high bit rate here. So your format, right? You want to export the video. You want to export I usually don't export the audio most of the time, but sometimes I do. Either way, it works. Okay. So go to render at maximum depth. Okay. I usually use hardware encoding, and then go to bitrate setting. Just go as high as you can. So I usually do the max one. Ignore these settings. Use max render quality, and then you go to here. Okay. So your output name, right? You can go to wherever you want to go. So I usually do at this place here as well. I like to stay organized, so I'm just gonna put shockwave assets or shockwave or assets, whatever your folder is called. Let's name this Allen BG. Save. Right. Press OK, and then you want to press this green arrow that will start the queue. Right. The rendering time may vary. Sometimes it would take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or even a whole day, depending on your PC configuration and the complexity of the intro. Okay, once it's done, then we can get started on the effects, the sync, and the final render. All right, let's do it. Okay, this is going to be completely optional, but if you want to make your intros cooler, you can actually make the text saver. Okay, this is going to be a really simple procedure. So here I'm just going to make sure this is all symboled up for you. Okay, we don't need this. I would just name this fade ghost text, and then I can name this main text here. Either way it works, but I usually just leave it to this original name. Why not? Okay. So you want to select the part that you want to do. So I wanted to do this part, the saber text around here. So let's do. So get this guy. You want to make sure you use this tool. You want to go to here. Okay. You want to go to here. Okay. So once you have this started, you have this space here. You want to press the main text. You do want to go to auto trace and go to work area, 2 pixels before auto trace, and you press OK. So all it does is auto tracing where the text goes. It's going to aim to the camera. And some cases your PC may crash or not. It all depends on your PC configuration. If this crashes, then you can always retry again, as always. Okay, so we got this part done. Okay, now let's go to the original state. So I'm just gonna move this guy to the original state here. All right, and then we're gonna make the saber text. So let's call this saber text here. I want to start where I started. Okay, check this. Okay, I want to start here, and then I want to and here. So if you want to slice this guy up, like these adjustment layer or solid, you can press Control Shift and D. Control Shift and D. It just slices it for you. All right. Now what you want to do is you copy the mask and paste it to the saber text. So for the main text, you can disregard the mask here, and it should be back to normal. Okay. Now, let's go to Saber. Okay, Saber. Make sure you get the video Copilot. And you go to preset. Well, preset, I usually select, let's see, neon. Neon, either way works. Alright, neon. Neon. Oh, my mistake. I'm just gonna slice this here. I don't need these parts here. I just need this. Okay. So let's get rid of some useless masks. We're just gonna focus on the important parts. So, yep, there he is. There he is. All right. Now, go to custom chord. Okay. For core type, layer masks. Layer mask. And then you can also, and let's see. Huh. You want to make sure this one is visible here. Okay. So look, this is already bright, but we can also fix it. Go to render settings, turn off the motion blur. You don't need that. Composite settings, transparent here. Transparent. Okay. Return the scale here. So you get this really annoying part here. Okay. So glow intensity, let's do 12. Let's do core size 1. Let's do, instead of 12, let's do 25. And then let's increase the scale here. And let's get rid of some of the parts that we don't need. We don't need this part. We can keep this part here. You see? Now, let's make some cool saber effects. Okay, go to effects, saber, custom core. For mass evolution, I start 0, and then I end with 180. 180. Okay. You can do this here. Okay, start size 200. End size 0, and then start size 200. Okay, so now you can start with that and then end with that. See? And then you can and size this here, and then you can and 100. See, it's not gonna look as good as it should be, so but you can also end this here, I think. But either way, I just leave it at 200 here. I don't touch anything here. If you think it goes in a really weird direction, you can also change the mask evolution to whatever it lines up. Okay, negative 180 works out fine here. So this is optional if you want it or not, but I usually wanted to add it, so I'm gonna do underneath here. Okay, underneath this here, and it does look good. All right, it does look amazing. You can change the colors if you want to. I would just go for pink instead, because it just looks nice. Okay, you can now input the ones that you already rendered. So for my case, I go to where I saved. So I saved it into here. Now you can just hide all this here, and then you can click this guy, right? You can click this. You can turn on the shy layers off so it hides it itself. Now you could do is you can play here. You can mute this where you have the music here, or you can just disregard the music. Either way, I usually just turn off it anyways, and then I'm just put it right over to frames. Okay, so now when you look at it, it looks really nice. Turn on the CC and you see it does look pretty nice after all the work we've done. Okay, now I want to get started on the sync, so create a new adjustment layer. You can just right click, click new adjustment layer, or you can just go to layer, new adjustment layer. Either way works. So rename this to sync. Let's start with any color. I would start with lime. Why not? Go here. Okay. Now turn this to half because you don't want to lag your PC. If you experience any technical issues, you can always go to Edit tab, purge all memory and disk cache. It should just clean up all the mess that we've been working on. Okay. Now I'm gonna start with transform. Right. Drag it to here. Go to here. Okay. So for my sync, I usually start 100. Nope. I want uniform on 140. We're gonna make the bounce sync. So do we have the music on? Yeah, did. So I'm gonna sync where it's at. Okay. I don't really care about this part. And just see. And then we can end this here, okay? And just end this here. So there's some parts that you don't really need to sync. I usually sync wherever this part is acceptable, or whatever I want to do. So I usually select, go to the graph editor here. I usually click this guy here, and then I just drag this tip here, and then I drag this tip to here. Okay. And you can always line them up if you can. I usually like to line them up so that it looks nice. Okay. Alright. So now you get yourself a bounce sync here. Okay. We have to make a new adjustment layer. We're just gonna call this TR, and then we'll just change to any color that we want. So we start with this blue line to base drop. You could Control Shift and D, get rid of this guy. You could just rename it to TR. Okay, so now you're gonna go to Effects and Presets, Transform, and I usually do 105, no, 120. Yeah, 120 is good enough. So excuse the phone call because my mom just called me. I just had to text her later. All right. Now go to S-Shake here. You gotta find the Sapphire FX plugins if you can. I would not provide any plugins at all, and the software itself as well, but I will provide the project files and presets that you're more than welcome to use. So back to the sync part. Okay, go to effects, S-Shake. All right, I usually set it to 0, frequency 4, motion blur, you usually turn that on. X-Shake, let's do 120 to 28 and 86. For Z-Shake, 24, tilt shake 6, and then tilt weight amplitude 2. So you copy this. If you want to tweak around it, you can always play around with it and see if you like it or not. So 1. Want to line this up if you can. Line this up here, line this up, line this up, line this up, and we end this by 0. Go to graph editor, click this one, easy ease, and then hold shift, and you can just move it down there. Okay. Okay. Let's see. If you don't like this sync, you can always do easy ease. You can just always do this. Okay, you can always turn down the amplitude. So let's do here. Let's do this. Let's see. If you don't like how this is, you could turn down the frequency. Turn down that one, and transform. You can always fix it. So I'm just gonna move this a little bit here. Okay. Yeah. I usually do. Yeah, this is a bit too hard. Let's do 125. You can copy and paste this here. You can copy paste this here. That's my old method, but we're gonna do the newer method that's like easier to sync. So let's try to pull this down to here, pull this down to here. Oh, okay, and we can just equal this to here as well. This one looks a bit nice. We can just tweak around here. This part, I usually just leave it here, okay, because amplitude. So I usually just tweak around here. You always want to tweak it if you can. You can always until you find something that you like. So let's try. Let's try this. You can decrease this here. Or you can increase it here. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is here. Now let's do glow. Okay, so glow. You have to get the Sapphire glow from the Sapphire FX plugins. So 0 threshold. I do 0.8. Glow width 120. 0 and then 1. This part 0. You don't want to add too much glow. You just want to keep it straightforward. This doesn't look nice. Let's do the threshold 0.6. Yeah, I think that's the best we could do here. Nope, let's do 0.2. Yeah, 0.2 looks nice. Okay, 0.2 is nice. We just have to copy this here. Okay. Now let's go to CC Radical Blur. Okay, so type rotate fading 0 amount, keyframe that, and then let's do 6. Okay, 0, and then you want to copy and paste it. Copy and paste this. Copy and paste this. Copy and paste. Okay, graph editor amount, just hit easy ease. Okay. Let's go to motion tile. And then okay, above, go. Mirror edges, 300 for output width and height. Okay. Now you got the sync part. So yeah, you got the sync part. You can also cut the adjustment layer to save a bit more time on the rendering. Okay, so it looks fine. Now you just turn this off if you want to. Okay, let's begin with the hue changing effect. So delete this layer. Let's call this, I usually call it flavors because why not? Right, now go to add grain. Let's make this easier. Okay, add grain. You don't want this white spot, so let's go to final output. You could choose any grain that you would like. I usually do this grain. Okay, either grain works. It depends on your taste. Hue and saturation. Saturation is to 0. And let's go to Magic Bold Looks or just looks from the Red Giant Magic Bold Looks plugins. So edit. It should take a while to load. Now go to chromatic effect and then tweak it to however you wanted it. So I usually tweak it to this here. Boom. When you open the CC, okay, so it does look nice. Let's go for color. You can also do this as well. You can do monochromatic, but application, you can multiply, you can overlay, you can add, you can screen. I do screen, why not? It doesn't seem overpowering to me here. Okay, let's get to this. So when you go here, right, go to transform, opacity is be opacity on here will be this much. Okay, so now you want to count to 5 seconds. Okay, here. All right. No, let's do 8 seconds. So we start here. Let's do here. Okay. 0. And then 8 seconds later. Here. And then there. 8 seconds later. There. And here. And you can also copy and paste this. So 8 seconds later, I'll be here. That'll be here, and then delete this. You don't need this here. Okay, see that? You always put the hue, right? Let me rename this to flavors hue. Flavors hue. Whenever it's dark, I just call it dark hue. Dark hue. You could do here. It just goes to here. See? This is a bit wrong. This is also wrong. I don't think that belongs to here. We can always fix it. I always make sure that it doesn't look messed up. I could say you can work smarter, not harder. Okay, so all right. Let's do part. I wanted to do. You can see the saber text. That's optional. If you want to, then you can do that as well. Okay. You can also copy this here. Copy and paste it here. And you could do 0. You could change the colors. Either way. I usually don't like to change these colors, so I'll do it here. Why not? Or you can do you could do hue colorized. You need to hit film plugins. If you can't find it, then you can just use this instead, and you can find a way to do it. So I usually don't like this color. You could do blue. You could do. Let's do a friendly color. This does not look nice. Let's put underneath the, yeah. That looks a bit nicer. How red, green, blue. Yeah, blue looks nice. Blue looks nice. Let's do full. Okay, that looks alright. That looks a bit better. Okay, so I guess we can accept it. We can accept it. So now look at this.
time now, yeah, yeah, yeah. Time now, yeah, yeah, yeah. Time now, yeah, yeah, yeah.
If it's too long, you can also split it up here. You can also split it up. You can just move this here. Okay. You can move it around. Okay. What else we need to do? Oh, we can also do another one. Okay. So I call this opening, wipe circle, hue, whatever you can call it. I also copy and paste this thanks to here. Okay. Now go to wipe circle. For the background, you want to select this. So make sure that you select the correct layer, or else you're gonna end up with a black background. So anyways, for the edge softness, let's do 25, and then for the direction, circle out. Okay, so 0, and then 1. Okay, and then 0, and then 100. Okay, so let's go to here. I don't think this looks nice. I'm just gonna leave it here. Why not? Okay. Why not? Okay. That's fine. Okay. Now you can slice this away. We don't need unnecessary piece of layers that has no keyframes whatsoever. Alright. Let's get to the blur. Okay, so I put underneath TR here. We're gonna call it blur and chroma. Blur and chroma. You definitely blur for the intro, or else it does not look nice. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find blur. Let's find camera lens blur. Here you go. Drag it there. Effects, blur radius. Let's do 25, and then let's do here. Okay, let's do 25. Here. And then 15 here, and then 25 here, yeah, and 25, and then 0. Okay, so let's keyframe this. Let's keyframe to here. Keyframe it to here, and then we're gonna go to the graph editor. Okay. Okay. I also have a presets name. My name Chroma. You need to do is you just need to wrap Chroma here. I would just place it to wherever I want to do. So you can get rid of this. You don't need this here. So here it is. So for Z distribution, I do is 0.1, 0.1, and then I do 1. So it's pretty straightforward. You can see it's pretty straightforward here. You can always save the preset. So here, and you go to animation, save animation presets, name whatever you want. I already have it saved, and you can always grab it to here. It saves a lot of time and energy. So yeah. Alright, we're gonna copy paste this, we're gonna move it here, and we're done. Okay, we're done with some of the effects. We can get to more effects later. Now, you can always take a break whenever you need to. Don't overwork yourself to death at all costs. We're back to business. Okay, let's do some tweaking around. I usually do tweaking, a bit of tweaking, or a lot of tweaking, just to make sure that it looks good. Okay, you can always hold shift. You can always hold this way here, and it's gonna look much better. Okay, let's get some effects. So new adjustment layer, we call it effects, and I place it over the sink here. Let's whatever I want. Okay, for this part, right, let's make the puddle. So I do have the puddle presets that you can use, or you can make it yourself. So just follow along what I did. So it's pretty simple. All the settings is there. You see, these are just the basic settings. You can always check it here. And then, alright, and then let's go for the turb. Let's do the turb. My turb. And then we're gonna make the new effect, this cool effect. New adjustment layer. Cut this here. We just need to cut this out of the way. I usually call it Kel. Why not? Kel. And then I just have this saved. I just call it Kel. Why not? And you can see I made this effect. So when you see this guy, right? This is my preset, so you could use this. Feel free to copy settings over here. Mask for layer, just do it from kill. Nope, that's incorrect. Incorrect. Wipe circle, okay. Background, should be kill. Okay, you can also you can also fix it. You can also increase it the white percent or decrease the white percent, either way. I like it this way. It just looks nice. Okay. Now we're gonna go to effects. We're gonna copy and paste this. Copy and paste this here. No, I don't. I think this one just looks much better. If you go to here, just go here, and then turbulence. I just do it here. Okay. And let's make the ripple effect. I have this saved as ripple effect as a preset. You can follow along if you want to. So go to graph editor, fix the curves. I'll leave it like this. Okay. Right. Right. And then you can also place this again over here. Alright. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Let's add something cool. Okay, let's do as mosaic. Place it over here. We'll put it over here. Okay. I usually do 200 here. 200 pixel frequency, and then I leave it to 2 seconds here. 0. No, that doesn't look nice. Let's do 100. Yeah. 800. 1,000. Whoa, this is the wrong layer. Let's not. This is wrong. My mistake. Okay, well, let's make a new one. Let's call it pixelated effect. Let's make this easier. I'll go here. Let's do 10. No, let's do 20. 20. Okay, and then move it to at least 400 here. And then go to opacity. Okay, 100. 0. Okay, let's go to here. Let's make this right. And then leave it to here. Okay, so it should be fine. It should be fine. Okay, tweak around. And you get this nice pixelated effect. Feel free to use it in any part that you want. Like there's no limit on creativity. You can do whatever you want. Okay. Now let's go back. Let's see what else we can add. Well, there's nothing to be added. You usually don't want a lot of effects at all. I think this is good enough to be what it is. Okay, let's go to sync. Let's go to TR. Let's not worry about this. You can if you want to, but you don't have to worry about this part. So you just disregard it. You can hide it, whatever it is. Okay, let's go to the finalization. So click the frames composition. So new comp from selection, frames 2. Okay, we're gonna make black bars. So solid layer, call it black bars. You have to use CC jaws here. Okay, CC jaws, 75 completion. You can just disregard this. You could disregard this, set everything to 0, height and width if you can. And that's how you make the CC bars, or the black bars. You're gonna do it 0. You could do 100 to make it no bars, or 75. I usually give it 75 because why not? All right. Let's do the fade in and fade out solid. Call this fade transform keyframe to, so set opacity to 100. You want to hit this watch here. That's the keyframe 0, and then we want to go to the end 0, and then give it a few more spaces, 100. Okay, that's fine. And you want to go graph editor, you want to hit this here, and now we want to do is make RSB. So adjustment layer, RSB. We could turn this off here. RSB. Drag it to here. Just this adjustment layer. For a blur amount, do 1.1. Motion sensitivity 45. You can use GPU. I just use it on if I want to. And place it underneath there. So this is what your layer should look like. So your main composition, the motion blur, fade, the black bars, and then fade. And there you go. There you go. Okay. Now you could do a bit of tweaking. So I'll show you another effect that I like. It's called displacement map. Let's grab any shockwaves that we want. Oh, this shockwave is nice. Okay. So let's go to here. Let's turn this off right now. Let's turn these guys off for right now. Okay. So let's make the layer, so new adjustment layer. We're gonna call this displacement map. Displacement map, and then we want to set it here. Okay. We can also set it to time to enable time mapping. You can also move this around like these to make the reverse shockwave, but you could do that if you want to. Let me show you how it's done. You can move it to here, and then you can move this. You can switch this around. So when the text is here, then you add another shockwave here. So yeah, this is just an example that I'm showing you. Okay, you don't need a sound. All right, let's go to displacement map here. For a displacement map layer, do the shockwaves here, and 5, and then 5, and then just turn off that. You can see there's a bit of displacement map. You can add more if you want to, or change the shockwave, but I think this is fine. You can input the shockwave if you want to. Oh, this one is nice. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. You can get rid of it or replace it. Let's do this. Get rid of this. Oh, this is nice. Get rid of this. Hide this. Whatever it is. I would say don't get rid of this at all. Just leave it with you. Okay, so I usually put underneath the sink, and then yeah, just gives it a nice displacement map. And then I do one last time. Okay, so you gotta do this again. So you gotta go to the nearest one. Okay, you can hide this. You can hide the shockwaves as well, so you don't get that confused. See this? Boom. It looks really nice, isn't it? All right, back to here and back to there. Okay. All right, we are done. Now we gotta hit the Flames 2. We have to go to the add Adobe Media Encoder. Since I'm using After Effects 2020, I have to use Adobe Media Encoder 2020 in order to work. Okay. Once I'm here, right? Once it's popping up, then we can finish one last step. Okay, do the same settings that I did. So render at maximum depth, use maximum render quality, bitrate encoding, I just max it out if I can. For me, I usually leave it at 60 FPS and then render out at 30 FPS. You could just mess around with the render settings if you want to. Yeah, it depends on your taste. Okay, so I'm gonna do 4K. So I'm gonna toggle off this guy, this resolution, and then I set it to 60 FPS. Okay, so yeah, check these settings here. You can include the audio. You can ignore all this. Just worry about this here. And you could double check if there's any errors or problems. If you have any problems or errors that you don't like, you can always go back to After Effects or Cinema 4D to tweak it, fix it, mess around with it, whatever it is. Okay, so output name, we're gonna go to wherever I want to save. So let's do here. Okay, save, and then press OK. It will take a few hours to finish processing the intro, or it might take a day. You don't have to stress about following exactly what I do on this tutorial. You know, there are no limits or boundaries on creative freedom. You have the power to make whatever you want. Just believe in yourself. Okay. Since this tutorial is officially over, I want to thank each and everyone for the amazing support that I've been working on intros for 7 years. And I want to thank everyone for all the nice compliments, all the nice comments. You guys posted it on my YouTube and other social media. I know I am not best at communicating, but I tried my best to make sure I make the best content for you guys. So if you like this video, feel free to thumbs up and subscribe. If you don't like this video, you can dislike it and leave some suggestions or feedback on how I should improve to give you guys a better experience. So this time, I wish you guys have a happy new year and Merry Christmas to you guys.